Hello, yogis, and welcome to the Chair 10 module. I am so happy to have you here. I am so happy to have you as a part of the Yogi Institute alumni. Any training that you take makes you a part of the Yogi Institute community, a part of the Yogi Institute alumni. And I am so grateful that you're here and that I am able to share this practice with you, to share the knowledge of yoga, the passion of yoga with you. Chair yoga is such a beautiful adaptation of the practice of yoga. Chair yoga, it makes this practice accessible to more bodies, to more body types, to people who are in recovery, to people who have been injured, to people who really need to reconnect with their body. My name is Jill Intignap. I'm the lead trainer and the owner of Yogi Institute. Maybe this is your first module. If so, welcome. And if this is a module of many, then just know that I love to pour this knowledge into the community, into others, so that that can ripple out into the world and that you as a teacher can share this knowledge. You may also be taking this module as a student who wants to understand yoga, who wants to adapt their yoga practice into their body, into where they are in their life in this moment. And that is truly the beauty of chair yoga. So this is a 10-hour module, and this module is made up of online curriculum where we will look at the purpose of chair yoga, we will look at the benefits of chair yoga, we will look at the anatomy of chair yoga, we will look at how we can adapt this practice into different styles of yoga. So at Yogi Institute, we teach 6 different styles of yoga. The first being vinyasa, which means breath to movement, which is a mobility practice. We have kundalini, which is a very spiritual, very transformative, very emotional practice. We have our restorative practice, which is where we really relax into the postures. We use props, we use support to relax the body into postures. We have our strength practice where we incorporate light weights into our practice and we really focus on the musculoskeletal system and building up the strength in the musculoskeletal system. We have our yin practice, which is long holds that stress the more plastic, more stable connective tissues rather than stretching the muscle tissue. And then we have a fusion of all of those practices brought together that really creates comparison and contrast between the different practices so that students can understand the difference of each practice. And I believe that chair yoga can be adapted in every style of yoga. I believe that we can use the chair, we can adapt each to fit into any body. We want to make the practice of yoga accessible. No matter what state the body is in, we want our students to be able to practice this. We're going to look at how we create a sequence in many of the different types and styles of yoga, and what creates an intelligently designed sequence. We are going to look at the breath and the meditative practice of and how to draw in theming, centering thought, and that's kind of the overview. 2 requirements for completing this module. First is to create a sequence and practice teach it. Your practice teaching does not have to be recorded, but I highly recommend that you do at minimum 1 practice teach before you do the second component, which is submitting a chair yoga practice that you teach to a student. So whether it's one student in person, whether it is online and you're teaching through Zoom and you're recording that Zoom. Now, how do you submit this final teaching evaluation? You can upload it onto YouTube and you can send me a link. Send the link to Jill at yogiinstitute.com. Or the second option would be to upload it into a Google Drive and send me either the zip file or a link to that. So I will watch your final teach out of your yin practice, and I will offer a teaching evaluation and feedback. I love offering feedback to teachers because I feel like when we're out in the industry and we're teaching our classes, we don't often get that kind of feedback. And all the feedback is it's shining a light into areas of the practice and the teaching that maybe you could incorporate. It's just feedback. It's a suggestion as to how maybe you could support and connect with your students in a deeper way. So that's the setup. We have the online curriculum. We have also 4-6 classes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach a chair yoga practice in those 6 different styles. And it's required that you watch all of those practices, that you journal about it, and then you create a 5-point summary of what you learned from those practices. Now, I recommend that you actually do the practice physically in your body so that you can feel what the postures feel like, so that you can embody the practice. And then after you do the practice, then you journal about the practice, and then you take a one piece, a line, a lesson from what you took away from that practice. So that is how this course is set up. When you think about chair yoga, maybe you've already been teaching chair yoga. Maybe it's something that you would like to incorporate into your teaching. Or maybe you're just here for your own body, for your own practice. All of those options are absolutely okay. There are many other resources out there that are connected to chair yoga. So let's say that you want to take a YouTube class, a class on YouTube from another teacher. Journal about that, that's absolutely okay. That'll count towards your classes. If you are in a community where you practice chair yoga, that can also count towards your class count. So there's going to be 4 hours of curriculum and then minimum 4 classes that you take in order to complete this course. The only resource that you really need for this program is, of course, somewhere to be able to watch these videos. And if you're watching this right now, you've got that covered. And then we have our Yogi Institute manual. So this manual is in PDF form in the resources section of the training portal. I recommend that you print it off so that you actually have a physical copy. If you don't want to do that, you can definitely just download it and have it as a copy on your desktop. But we will be referring to this as we move through this practice, as we continue to deepen our knowledge of chair yoga. A couple of the things that you're going to need is a sturdy chair. So I actually had to go out and purchase this sturdy chair because the only chairs that I have in my house are my office chairs, which swivel, and you don't really want that. I mean, it could be fun. It could be fun. You could swivel the seat and you could work the core in that way. But when we think about teaching this in the community, you want your students to be nice and stable and sturdy. So you're going to want to have a back on the chair and the chair firmly on the floor. And also at a height that the students can comfortably place their feet on the floor. The other chairs I have in my house are taller chairs where my feet don't touch. So make sure that you have a nice sturdy chair. Now, a couple other things that you're going to want to have are a strap. We'll utilize a strap. You're going to want to have some blocks. And then I don't have it here, but when we do the strength class, you're going to want to have some light hand weights. Or if you don't have hand weights, you can always use 2 cans of beans. You could use 2 bottles of water, anything that's going to add in a little bit of extra resistance to help us build up our muscle. It doesn't have to be a lot. They can be 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound, 5 pound. You decide what you want in your body to just have that experience of incorporating the weights into our chair practice. But we will do that in the strength class. You're going to want to have a journal and something to take notes with. Something that I like to do when I have this printed off, I like to also add notes to the back sides of the pages or into the manual, because the manual is meant to be a quick reference guide so that when you go out and you're teaching and you're in the industry, you have something that you can come back to easily, quickly, with all of the information in one place. That's kind of, this is like a one-stop shop. Always, the Yogi Institute manuals are like a one-stop shop. We'll talk about other things that aren't in the manual that you may want to take note of as we go through. But this is a great overview of information that you will want to have for this training and for offering this to others, or even understanding it in your own body. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to share in this introduction video. I think we're ready to get into the next portion, and let's just jump right in. Get yourself situated, get what you need, and we will continue to move forward into the Yogi Institute manual. See you in the next video.